Hey everyone, Ricky here, back with another video. Today I want to discuss how to hire people when your business starts to grow. And how do you trust people to do the same quality work you're accustomed to doing and have that passion? Stick around to find out. I also want to thank Epidemic for sponsoring today's episode, but more on that later.
Do you just enjoy keeping this really small and intimate and just the both of you have your hands in everything? And that's kind of more an art lifestyle business? Or do you imagine yourself scaling this thing to being a super successful multi-million-dollar business? Is that what you want it to be?
Yes, the latter.
The latter, okay. So now we have to take off our maker creator hat and we have to put on our entrepreneur hat. And entrepreneurs think very differently about business and design than creators do. I think as an entrepreneur, you have to start to look at the business function of your company. And you in the creative business are no different than any other business. There's a couple of things that glue all businesses together: marketing, sales, customer service, and the user experience. And we have to think about that. Now notice in there isn't a lot of space for the person who puts their hands into the business. And there's a reason why, because somebody out there, and believe it or not, can do what it is that you do, but nobody can be you. Nobody can plan for your future. Nobody has your exact chemistry and vision. And those are the roles and responsibilities that you as the entrepreneurs, the owners of a company, need to focus on, because every time you move away from that, it's like somebody takes their foot off the pedal and you start to cruise for a while. Like it's like you're turning around and having a conversation with somebody in the back seat. That's what it's like when you're doing the work. So most people are anxious about hiring other people because they just can't meet the standards that they have set for themselves. Right? So most of the time that comes because we have hired somebody and paid them not enough money, or we're reliant too much on local talent or the people we know. So people are going to say, Chris, how do we go from a two-person operation who mostly work from home to being able to afford world-class talent? Well, you build a bridge to it. It doesn't happen overnight. And here's what you do, okay? And now almost everywhere in the world, I'm trying to give very broad advice for people who are listening wherever you are. There's going to be a school, a community college, a university close by that probably has a department that's going to have some skills that you could use. What I would say is you bring in an intern. This could be paid or unpaid. I prefer paid so that it's sustainable. You bring them in and you're going to go through a lot of people. You're going to test and you're going to learn who's a good fit for you personality wise, who's got the right skill set, who's driven and motivated, who's there to help you grow. People come with all different kinds of motivations, and it's not possible for you to predict which ones are the good ones and which ones are the not so good ones. And not so good meaning not a good fit, not that they're bad human beings. So those people you bring in and you take what it is that you do, because I know more about design than I do about marketing. I would say try to write down all the different functions that you have to do. It could be 3 functions, it could be 17, but let's look at that. And then what you should do is to say, realistically, I cannot hire one person to do all 7 functions. That's a job of 3 people. So you take the least essential functions and you hire for that and you train them up. You train them up, and there's a very good reason why I say you train them up, because you're not paying them market rate, you're paying them at an entry level rate. The exchange in value is that you're going to give them knowledge that they can't gain otherwise. If they exchange their labor for a little bit of money and for you to teach them. And you're going to get good utility out of the good ones, and the ones that don't, you just let them go and you just move on. So they'll stick with you for a little while, and then all of a sudden you're going to see they're going to start to bump up against that ceiling. They're going to say, you know, those 3 things, I've mastered those 3 things. I want to take on 2 more things. This is a keeper, ladies and gentlemen. This is a person you want to continue to groom and grow. Now, here's the cool part. Even though you weren't charging super high rates as a 2-person studio, it's still more than the person that you're paying right now at an intern entry level. The gap in between allows you to continue your business while you focus on building that business, to do the planning, the relationship building, the marketing and the sales and the going out to meet people. It allows you time to think, to read, to write, to become a thought leader, to create content, to grow your channels and your personal brands. And then you attract bigger and bigger clients. This is what is critical. Now, I don't mean that you are never allowed to work on the projects ever again. Actually, it's the opposite. You get to be super choosy as to which jobs you put your hands on. And to me, that is the dream of all creative people. Not to do every project, but just to do the ones that you feel like, I must do that Calvin Klein Most Def project. I'm not going to delegate that away, right? You call dibs on that one and then you do it. And you keep doing this until your rates and your reputation and your portfolio are in alignment with what you need to do to be able to hire world-class talent. This is the process of being a creative entrepreneur.
And with that, I want to thank you for watching today's episode. I know I learned a lot about what to look for when hiring someone. It was cool to see how a manager on the hiring level views a new intern. So if you're about to start a new company, go watch that section again. It's the easiest way to become staff. What did you think? What did you do to get hired where you work now? Comment below and let's give some advice to the people out there who want to be full-time. I also want to give one more shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Epidemic. Now, there's usually one comment per video that asks us where we got our music from, and my answer every single time is Epidemic. Now, although they did pay me to say that, it is actually the truth. It's the only music library I use for the future music needs, and today I want to talk about their new commercial plan. So it includes usage of Epidemic's music on all online platforms at the price of $49 a month or $299 a year, and the first month is free. So the commercial plan is great for freelancers, production companies, and businesses of all sizes. Freelance and production companies can deliver client projects with fully cleared music. Through the Epidemic website, you clear the videos you produced, and the client won't get claimed for publishing content containing Epidemic music. This is huge. Every single Epidemic track is originally produced by the musicians, and all the music is owned by Epidemic. So there's no worries for copyright strikes for you or your client projects. We would also like to do a competition in which everyone who signs up for the commercial plan through the futures link in the description could win up to 6 months free of the plan if you comment below why you need the commercial plan. So if you want to support us, click the link in the video description to show our sponsors that you appreciate them for believing in our mission to bring you high quality education. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.